Achievement unlocked. You've now made it to the last presentation of the day here, day 2. Andrei is going to be talking about the differences between monetization between apps and web. Zynga recently announced some first earnings. Of the 325 million in revenue, only 10 million of that came from advertising. The balance was from in-application purchases. Those of you who were here earlier know that I'm giving away little prizes for trivia questions, and this is the final question and the final prize. And I'm going to end on a very, very simple question. What percentage of revenue does Facebook keep for their credits? Does anybody? 30%. We have a winner. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. First, before I start, I would like to ask how many of you are doing mobile game development? How many of you are planning to do mobile game development? Okay, that's good. Today I will talk about mobile game monetization on mobile devices. Everyone is going to mobile now, and everyone is sure that it's the next big thing. And while there's a lot of developers entering the mobile platform who previously worked on web or social or even offline games, a lot of them are facing the same difficulties with monetization. Mobile is really, really different from the web. Most of my examples will be based on Android because we have the biggest experience on this platform, but actually they are all applicable for other platforms, maybe except limited appliance for iOS because Apple's policy is to keep the monetization under their control. So let's start with platforms. Once game developers decide to enter the world of mobile, they face the hard choice of deciding which platform to start with because there's a lot of them. And resources are always limited, and there's lots of things you can do on different platforms. Let's look at this chart. Showing smartphone sales across the globe. As you can see, almost every second smartphone sold is running Android, and Symbian is the second OS with the popularity of 22%. So shall we consider these platforms? So I can see it as well. Next slide. It's smartphone sales is US. Here the situation is quite similar. Google Android still is quickly growing, and it already obtained 42% of the market. On the other hand, BlackBerry and iOS are installed on more than 49% of devices. So shall we consider them as the platform? It all goes quite different if we look at the revenues. This is the chart showing the revenues of different app stores. And as you can see, Apple App Store is dominating the market, bringing almost 83% of the revenues over mobile apps. So shall we consider App Store, iOS as the platform? Glumaba once reported that their Android revenues make only 1/10 of the revenues they are making on iOS. And it's an interesting fact. So this brings us with the first challenge. Why should we develop for other platforms if most of the money is living on iOS? Indeed, iPad and iPhone belong to the higher segment of the market, and the owners of these devices, they have huge purchasing power, and both devices are really optimized for delivering and selling good mobile content. But if we look at the number of apps in different app stores, we can see that what a high level of apps there is for both iPhone or iPad. And the competition for this device is really huge. And compared to other markets, there's more space for you to work with. There's more ways of how you can gain attention and more things you can do. One of the best examples is Rovio, who is making the same amount of money with mobile advertisement on Android as they are making with selling apps and doing in-app purchases on iOS. It's quite equal according to them. So you should not under or overestimate any of the platforms. You should analyze the competition levels, available monetization strategies, local and global market shares, and your own expertise. Every platform can bring you money. It's all depends on how you work with it and how you achieve it. Or you can go cross-platform with Marmalade or by using HTML5. It's up to you. So we're done with platforms and we can go to the next step. We need to select the regions that will be important for us. And here usually all the developers are talking about the same. Let's go to US or to Western Europe. Well, let's look at some charts. This chart shows Android sales across the world, with purple meaning more sales. As you can see, US is the hottest region for Android. They have good purchasing power and handsets are really cheap. But on the other hand, look at the other regions. Look at China, look at Australia, look at India, look at Latin America, even at Russia. All regions are purple. And the main market for smartphones right now, it's Asia. 40% of all smartphones are sold in Asia. Let's look at another chart. This chart shows the spread between the dumb phones and the smartphones. If we look at Americas, it's only 29% of smartphones compared to 31% in the European and Middle Eastern region, and compared to 70% in Asia. 70% of mobile devices are smartphones in Asia. That's right now, right here, not tomorrow or next year. So Asia, in fact, is the biggest market for mobile development right now. So the answer is simple. If you want to establish a working monetization strategy, you need to do it for every region. And this is the only way how you can accomplish your mission. Same goes for already established markets, and same goes for new markets that are preparing to boom, like Africa or parts of Eastern Europe, etc. Or if you want, there will be others who will do it, like this Chinese robot. So once we've decided with the geography, let's think about the home place of every app, the App Store. Again, there are dozens of different app stores, and we're not speaking about iOS, where there's basically only one app store. But surprisingly, developers are ignoring it, especially the ones moving from iOS to Android. Everyone is talking about Android Marketplace and maybe Amazon or something else. Indeed, they are all very different, some popular in special regions, some ready to offer additional possibilities for you, some maintained by operators or device manufacturers. Just look at this list. Believe me, it's not the full list, it's not even half of the app stores out there, and this is mostly for Android again. There are all types of different app stores. There are the alternative ones like the Opera App Store or the Amazon or the Getjar. There are regional stores popular in specific regions, especially for Asia and for China, where, for example, Android market is banned for some time in China, but local app stores are operated. And again, there are the operators' app stores, because operators understood how much money lives in app stores, and they're quickly trying to adapt this model, open their own app stores that are embedded in the devices. And there are manufacturers' app stores like HTC, Samsung, LG, Motorola, and others. Getjar alone has already provided 2 billion downloads. That's a lot, and Getjar is mostly popular in Eastern Europe and CIS. Small fact for you is that many think that application stores like iTunes and Android Market that are only the places where the developers are earning money. But in fact, such off-deck app stores which sell directly to consumers, we only calculate to 25% on mobile application revenues. The rest goes to app stores which are on deck, which are carrier managed app stores, who provide 75% of revenues. This doesn't mean that you should target every single app store out there. It takes you too much resources, too much time to accomplish that. But you have to select the number of them that will best suit your game and your audience. Every app store has its own target group. So we're ready with the distribution strategy, and we can think about pure monetization. And here comes the biggest challenge. Despite the huge success of many freemium games, developers are heavily relying on premium models. And this is one of the things that we are trying to accomplish, to switch developers to use freemium models. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this was the slide. Okay, look at these figures. Android market features 57% of free apps, the highest percentage of any other major app store, compared to only 28% on the Apple App Store. This means that the users that don't want to pay for apps, they can't access 72% of Apple App Store. Why premium is bad? It's a good question, especially at platforms like Android. First, app stores are full of low-quality apps, and customers see it, and they are not sure if the app that they are going to buy, if it's quality or not. That's why they don't trust paid apps. Again, many treat game purchases as investments, and you don't want to invest in your own smartphone. It's just not what you do. Different nations and different cultures treat mobile app purchases differently, especially here in Eastern Europe, in CIS, where everyone is used to the free stuff with halava. And app stores feature weak billing options. This is another reason why Android is still very low on premium sales, because so far many regions are only available to buy apps using credit card billing, which is not the best option for Eastern Europe, for Africa, or for Latin America, where credit cards are not popular. And there's always a risk that your competitors will be there with a freemium game, and the gamers will select the freemium game instead of your game. Again, the ways of distribution with premium games is quite limited. You can do offers, you can do free app stores like Getja, you can do special deals and promotions, because you have to sell the app. And one of the biggest problems on Android is the piracy. Basically, in average, it takes 24 hours for a newly released game to be transferred to torrents or forums. And once it's there, it's out of your control. You can't do anything. You don't earn any money. Now let's look at the free premium benefits. Definitely, your game will have more volumes and more downloads and more installs. And especially with the long tail, who will never be paying for the apps. And now I personally know a lot of people like this. And of platforms like Android, there's a lot of them because people are used with the free apps. Most of the everyday apps like Gmail, Skype, Calendar, they're free. And there's a lot of really nice games that are also free, like Angry Birds. And consumers are used to it. They don't need to buy apps because they can get a lot of them for free, and many of them are with high quality. What's more important, by using free distribution, you are not charging everyone the same price, as thus you are able to adjust the different purchasing power. That's a thing that many developers ignore, but in fact, if most of iPhone users belong to the higher segment of society, with Android it's quite different. There are entry-level, low-level devices, there are mid-level devices, and there are high-level devices who cost over 500 euros. And for every device, there's a consumer behind it with different purchasing power. With freemium, you are able to adjust to any of them. And of course, you will get more distribution offers like offer pals, free app stores, portals, pre-installs. This makes you less dependent from app stores, which is also very important. And again, it's piracy. Why it's listed twice? The same way as piracy is stealing money from your revenues on premium model, the same way it's helping you with the distribution on the freemium model, because you will be earning money from every app that is distributed through torrents, because all your monetization will be inside the app. Easy numbers. 70% of top 100 top grossing iOS apps are games. 65% of them are freemium. Overall, if we conclude, I can guarantee you that this model can be used for almost any game. And it's the good model, long-standing model. And next I will show you how to achieve it. There are four main ways of how to monetize freemium apps. You can place mobile ads and pay for every click or every impression. You can include offers, which offer your customers to download some application on access some web page or subscribe to some product, and you'll get the money for every completed offer. You can embed in-application purchases. That's the main way of monetizing freemium apps. And again, if you're big enough or if you're good enough, you can get some special deals or sponsorships like Rovio did with their Angry Birds Rio, which was promoting the movie Rio. Let's start with mobile ads. Everyone has seen these annoying banners in different games, like in this Angry Birds game. But not everyone knows that these banners bring $15 billion this year. Like them or not, but mobile marketers are paying more and more attention to such type of in-application advertising. Hence, it already accounts for 5% of all revenues on mobile, and it will be exceeding this number in next years. Placing mobile apps is always a compromise, because they're often big and ugly, and they can steal your precious space, and especially for small devices. And again, they can make your game slow. Angry Birds once added a HD video to the game, and you can't imagine how much negative responses they received from their user base. The solution is easy. You have to make it smart. Look at what you are advertising and where. If there are no good ads for this region, or it's not paying back, maybe you should exclude it. There's no point of showing stupid ads for all of the regions. You should respect low-end devices, especially China. In China, every month there are millions of no-name, low-level Android devices shipped, and it's already a significant market share. And these devices are weak, but you should respect them, maybe by doing a light version of your game, or including a special mode with less graphics. Again, try different advertisers to find the one who suits you both, and maybe you can try different advertisers for different regions. And place ads so that they won't be clicked by accident. I know it's always a big problem, because you want to get as much clicks as possible. On the other hand, you don't want your users to be angry, and you don't want your game to be slow. One of the best practices is you should include rotating banners on the loading screens, because it's normal. You should wait anyway. Another great way of monetizing mobile are offers. There are plenty of them offering all sorts of actions, like downloading an app or joining a Facebook group or signing up for a website. Offers are great, especially for monetizing the users that will never pay. And this is one of the main reasons why they are used. In addition, they provide a good global reach, because they provide global offers, especially for application installs. But they have a number of disadvantages as well. You should be careful with what you are offering. You don't want to become next Scamville with offering some really scammy things like mobile subscriptions or services that will actually cost money for your users, because this will kill your reputation. Again, you may one day start promoting your competitors, and you may use users by doing so. Definitely don't overload your game with offers, and don't replace payments with offers. That's the last thing you want to do, because you want the users to pay for your game. And then, if they can't pay, then they should use offers. For example, a good advice would be to, if someone is attempting to pay, but he fails to complete the payment, you offer a callback with an offer as an alternative solution. As a rough breakdown, microtransactions and in-app purchases currently make 50% of Glue Mobile revenue. Advertising makes 10%, and offers account for 30%, which is almost more than a half of what we get from in-app purchasing. I know nothing about these companies, but they pay me a lot of money to put their banners over there. Now let's talk about the most important way of making money with freemium apps. In-application purchases. They can be used in selling many types of content. For example, you can sell virtual credits or coins. That's the most popular way of using them. You can unlock extra levels or add-ons. This is especially good for casual games. You can provide trial version activation. Again, just like you do on PC, it's either a time-limited or resource-limited game, and you unlock it with in-app purchase. You can offer extra features which are only accessible through in-app purchases, which is really working well for multiplayer games where players are competing with each other, because it's the normal human behavior. Look, I bought a cool stuff, I'm rich, you're not. I have a cool sword, you don't. And you can provide some personalization options or just the banner-free version, but actually it's not working. Everybody's using it, but it's not working. It's not bringing money. This graph shows how in-app purchases are mostly utilized in modern apps. 68% of payments is done to purchase consumable goods, which is usually virtual credits, and 30% is spent on buying non-consumable goods, which is add-ons, levels, extra features, and only 2% goes for personalization. But using mobile payments in your apps covers some important challenges. One of the biggest problems, developers are using mobile payment methods that are not effective with their user base or with their region. This is a nice screenshot. On the left, this is how Google Checkout looks for someone who doesn't have a credit card with his checkout account. In countries in Eastern Europe and many countries of the world, the number of such users accounts to 90–95%. They have to fill this form with the information to complete the payment. It's a conversion killer. The same goes with PayPal and many other payment methods. Let's try to compare different payment options that are available for in-application purchases. First, of course, it's the App Store billing like Google Checkout. Usually it's the most effective way of doing in-application purchases. But of course, if it's in the right region, for example, if it's already connected to a credit card or if it's a direct carrier billing. Right now, Google Checkout is not the perfect option for in-application purchases. It works in countries like US, Germany, France, Japan, but it doesn't work in many regions of the world. At the same time, it can be useless in emerging markets, and it involves high App Store margins. Next would be mobile operator billing. That's what we actually do. It combines good coverage with high conversion rates, but in many countries, operators deduct a very high margin, and your revenue share is lower. Next would be credit cards. They offer highest revenue share, but they offer bad conversion rates, just like I shown to you. And again, there are PayPal and some exotic payment options that came from the web, like prepaid cards, kiosks, but they don't work on mobile. So what payment methods you should provide? It depends on your app, on your user base, and on the region where you offer it. Based on it, you should select the most suitable payment method and additional payment methods if needed. In the end, you should move from something like this you have on the left to something like we have on the right. But it's not only the payment method that's important, it's also the way how you serve it. Screen is small, and you can't do it like you do it on the web. You can't fit this there. Mobile purchases should be impulsive. Same thing like in social networks. You are trying to sell numbers and pictures to the customer, so you want to do it as quickly as possible before he understands anything. Every new screen or every new step kills conversion by 10–15%. Average smartphone user is still not used to pay for inside application. It took years for the web, it will take some time for mobile. And it's a payment, so it should look secure. You don't want it to look like a Viagra advertisement, which we see in many of the games. Buying stuff in your game should be easy, fast, and secure. Golden rule for all payments, purchase should be done in maximum of 3 clicks. But it's not only about the whole flow. The devil lives in the details. Are you using local currency? If the page is translated, do you have clear terms and conditions? Do you have your customer care email or help desk accessible in the app? Every small detail could put someone to complete the purchase. And for example, what we faced with our system, we added operator logos to the payment page, and that increased conversion by 15%. That's a small step, and that's such a high achievement. And of course, you should track user reviews and comments. You should make your page perfect, and players will love playing for your game. In a number of recent launches, we noticed a strange thing. Good games were bringing really low volumes. This was related to bad game balance. The game was too easy. No one wanted to pay. The same goes if your game is too hard. Your users will leave the game before they actually want to purchase anything. If you offer too many free levels, they will enjoy it, they won't pay. If you offer too little levels, they will leave before becoming addicted to the game. You have to find the balance. Don't push it too hard, don't go too easy. My favorite example, the only game that I purchased myself, is Greedy Spiders for Android. Basically, it offers 2 level packs, and once I completed this, I was fully addicted with it. It offered me to buy the full version, and I did so. Another issue we see in every second app, unfair pricing policy. Remember, $2 in US, it's not equal to $2 in China. It's a huge amount of things you can buy in China, and it's nothing in US. As a result, for emerging markets, your goods are too expensive and they are not going to pay. You should adjust the pricing policy according to purchasing power and regional differences. And the final issue I would like to talk about. Price is set, payment flow set, but how about offline? I'm sure that many developers don't even think about it when they develop the apps, but according to statistics, 50% of mobile apps are accessed when they are offline. Basically in a subway, in roaming, or it's a tablet device with Wi-Fi only connection. But it's a lot, especially for high user base. You should check if your app is working offline, and you should check if your monetization works offline. It's also possible. In conclusion, a lot of problems and strategies can be solved even after you launch the app. But you have to be very careful with your first launch, with the initial launch, because some of the strategies and some of the issues should be fixed in the very first version. Otherwise, the whole monetization strategy will fail. And it's a good solution we always offer to our clients. You should test your app first on a small marketplace, on a small app store, or on a small region. And according to this, you can make it perfect for the big step. Good luck with your apps. Thank you.
Thank you for some excellent advice. We have time for questions.
На русском или?
Можно на русском.
Да? А есть какие-то альтернативные Inapp Purchase на андроиде? Потому что как бы вполне по логичным причинам вы рассказываете про другие маркеты и так далее, потому что App Store явно, App Store девелоперы не ваши клиенты никак. А Android, Google ничего не делает по этому поводу? То есть только при помощи сторонних компаний, как ваша, например?
I think I will answer in English, if it's okay. Yeah. It's a good question. I was waiting for it. It's usually asked all the time. Basically, what we have right now with Android Market is, according to Android Market terms and conditions, you're only allowed to use authorized payment options on Android Market platform. On the other hand, Google does not provide a way how to become an authorized payment option. According to our experience, and we have a lot of apps that are in Android Market with our billing option inside, it's okay to use third-party payment options in Android Market. Even PayPal is a third-party payment option. What we recommend to our clients is you should not use third-party payment options in markets where Google checkout is good, like US, Germany, or UK, because you would be competing with Google checkout. From our talks with Google people, of course they were unofficial, but they say that they don't want to limit the developers. They understand that checkout is not great, and right now they're okay with closing their eyes for third-party billing options. There are over 20 companies right now offering in-application billing solutions for Google Market, Android app market.
Any more questions? Maybe I can ask a quick question.
Yeah.
You hear horror stories about fraud on mobile applications. Is this getting better or worse?
This is much better. In fact, if we look at our experience in last year and a half, there were almost no significant fraud cases. The technologies are significantly better. There are new mobile billing ways like direct billing or direct operator connection. And right now we don't have any problems with the fraud. We pay our users as much as we are promising.
Oh, one more question.
You mentioned that you have an offline method how you want to do payments. So is that a SMS flow or premium SMS flow?
Well, it's part of our, if we talk about our solutions, because I will be lying if I would tell that there are no other offline payment options. But indeed, yeah, our own solution has an offline capability of payment using premium SMS.
So is that based on Beta or what's the technology behind that?
Sorry?
For the old phones, it was Beta that was used. Is it like an automated process, or
Yeah,
does the
of course. For our library, it's 2 clicks. The whole payment is done with 2 clicks.
So, but then the publisher needs an SDK to integrate, or is it a server?
Yeah, we provide it, but yeah, I think we should talk about it separately, not to turn this to a commercial talk.
Okay, well, please join me in thanking Andrei for the wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.